Google Ads tutorial. How was that for the quickest, shortest intro ever? If you like that intro, drop a thumbs up on the video. Let's dive right into this. So first, make sure you've got a Google account, a Google Ads account. It used to be called AdWords. They changed it to Ads. Make sure you have a Google Ads account set up, and you can just Google Ads and click on that first link, and it'll bring you here to this page where you can just click Start Now, follow the steps, get the account set up. And like I said in the title, here's a way to get $150 free in ad spend. Come to this link here. I'll leave this linked down in the description of this video. I don't get anything for it. It's just like 150 bucks. Grab it. It's worth it. Claim your coupon code. It is available only in the US, so if you're not in the US, apologies, won't work for you. But the only catch is it matches the amount that you spend. So I believe you have to spend $150 and then you get the free $150. When I very first signed up for Google Ads, it was a $100 coupon, and that's pretty cool that it's an even $50 more than that now. And I will say, like, if you're looking at, oh, that's too much to spend on to learn Google Ads to get the $150 in free credit. If you want to learn how to run ads, you gotta spend some money. Like, you just have to. And I'll just give you a personal example. The very first ads platform that I learned was Facebook advertising. This is back in 2015, 2016. And at that time, I was in school paying for all my own school, and I was working 2 part-time jobs. And so I was not making a ton of money is what I'm trying to say. But my very first go at running Facebook ads, I dropped $1,000 of my own money just straight into it, because I knew that I had to spend money, like a decent amount, to learn how to run ads. Now, I'm not saying you have to spend $1,000, you don't. But 150, like, yeah, you need to spend 150 bucks to really learn how to run ads. Now, you can go set some up and actually get some ads live for $5, $10, $20, but you need to iterate and go through it several times over, and that's how you're going to get better and actually learn to run ads that actually get the results that you're looking for. So it's just a matter of practice. Like, it's like a sport, or I mean, yeah, just take a sport for example. Any sport, you got to go practice and practice and practice and practice. In this case, you have to, when it comes to advertising, you have to spend money in order to practice. So I'm not advocating that you spend a ton of money right off the bat. I'm just trying to say, make sure you're willing to spend some money if you actually want to learn advertising. All right, once you're all set up, it'll bring you into the Google Ads dashboard, I guess. It may not bring you right to this page, but if you just click, like if I just click this top up here, Google Ads, this is the page that it brings me to. And then right here, this big button is what we're gonna use to, that one right there, to start a new campaign. And another little tip right here, it's super annoying. I personally really dislike how they do this, but I always get little banners up here where they're trying to get me to do stuff. So right now, like, enable 2-step verification, no thanks, hide. And the next one's gonna be switch one of your campaigns to standard delivery. And then oftentimes there's one that's like, you don't have any ads running, turn some on. Just like ignore those. They're just there to try and get you to turn on ads so that they can make more money, right? But you don't have to listen to those. I say that because I've seen people get hung up before they even start on stuff, like just worrying about the little banners that Google's trying to tell them about. And it's like, look, just ignore that, just start the campaign and get going. So let's do that. Click on new campaign. And then here it's going to give you several different goals that you can attack, or you can create a campaign, this one right here, without a goals guidance. Like it says right here, if you hover over this little question mark, when you select a goal, you'll see suggested campaign settings on the following steps aimed at helping you obtain that goal. So each one of these will kind of give you different options and try and guide you in kind of different ways to accomplish your goals. If you want to just avoid that and set it up all on your own, then just click this one right here. And if we click on these, each one of them will have different options. So this sales one gives us all of the different campaign types: search, display, shopping, video, and smart. In this video, I'm just going to go through search, display, and video. I just quickly want to show you what a search ad looks like, what a display ad looks like, what a video ad looks like, so we know what we're looking at here, what we're working on. Search is just these ones right here that show up when you run a search. And then display is this right here. So like on YouTube, if you run a search or watch a video, then you get this display ad that looks like this right here. And then video is just going to be you're actually running a real video as the ad. So let's first start out with a search campaign. And we'll just use the website traffic goal for that. I'm going to click on search, get that campaign started. You'll need to throw in a website. I'm just going to use my YouTube URL for example, just for no reason other than just to throw something in there. All right, so campaign name. One thing I do think is important, especially when you're starting to do lots of tests, and that's a big part of advertising, is just test a lot. You don't want to spend all your time, energy, and money on one ad and then that ad just flops, right? Like, especially at the very beginning, and especially in Google Ads. And I say that because I've worked on several different, I work on several different ad platforms. Google Ads is the one that I struggled with the most at the beginning to actually get my ads to just run. Like, I went through setting them up several times, and then I just sat there like, why aren't these running? And I know for a fact that some of you have been experiencing that same problem. And I just had to keep trying and tinkering with stuff. So I was like, oh, finally I'm familiar enough. Finally I get how to make these things go live. But it's just important to test. You're going to fail. Like, first you might not even get them to run. Once you get them to run, then they might just fail and you might not get any results. And you just have to keep testing and keep iterating and getting better and practicing. Before I went off on that tangent, I was just trying to say that how you name your campaigns and your ad groups, if you take the time to name them well, it's very helpful, especially when you start doing a lot of different tests and running a lot of ads. Just helps a ton in keeping track of everything and staying organized. So for this one, let's just say the example that I'll use throughout all of this is that we're selling trail running shoes. So I'll just say trail shoes, test one, search. So that way I know what product I'm running the campaign about and that it's a search campaign. Networks right here, just go ahead and click those off. Most likely you're going to want to click those off. That's Google. I mean, you can just read what it is right there. It's Google trying to expand and put your ads in different places where it might not be super relevant. Okay, next is locations, and I'm just going to leave it set to United States. If you're running ads in a different country and selling in that country and only trying to reach people in that country, I mean, this is pretty straightforward. Just pick the location of people that you're trying to reach. Languages, same thing, pretty straightforward. Audiences right here, if we click this drop down menu, I'm going to explain a little bit more about this in a second, but it just gives you just that, some different audiences that you can select. So if we're doing trail running shoes, let's type that in and see what comes up. So it'll give us like an athletic shoes audience. If we click on the ideas tab, there's different ideas right here you can look through, and then you can also browse and click on all these different things and sort through there. Just a bunch of different categories of audiences that Google has already grouped together. You may or may not want to use this. I personally don't really use this, and I'll show you why as we move forward here. But it is there if you want to use some of the kind of preset Google audiences that they have right there. Right, here's where you're going to set your campaign budget. So let's say it's 150. So let's just type in 150 there. And if we scroll right down here to bidding, there's this drop down menu where we can choose conversions, and you can just hover over it and it'll tell you what each of these is: conversion value or clicks. And then if you click right here or select a bid strategy directly, and look, it says not recommended. Honestly, I just ignore that and just figure out what works, what doesn't work, what I want to do, what I don't want to do. I just ignore all the Google prompts, what it's like trying to tell me to do, because truthfully, oftentimes that stuff's there just to try and get you to spend more money on their ads. So if you click select a bid strategy directly, then you can click this drop down menu and it'll give you all of these different options. So like if you wanted to maximize conversion, so say we're selling trail running shoes, a conversion is when someone clicks on our ad and buys those shoes. And if the goal is to sell more shoes, then maximize conversions is what we'd want to use, or maybe even maximize conversion value, meaning, you know, how much is each conversion making me? And that's what the value will focus on, where is the amount that they're purchasing, instead of conversions is just like the number of people that purchase. And then maximize clicks, if we just want to, you know, if we're not trying to get people to convert or buy, we just want them to click, and we want Google to focus on getting as many people to click as possible, then maximize clicks is what you want to use. All right, let's jump down here. Let's go save and continue. So now we're in the section where we're going to actually set up our targeting, where we're going to tell Google where and to who we want our ads to show. And the way we're going to do that is with search terms, or keywords as they're called. And like I said on the last page, in the audiences section, yeah, there's some audiences there. You can use those if you want, but personally, I just think it's a search campaign. Let's just throw in the keywords, the search phrases that we want our ad to show up for when people search those. So real fast, I'm gonna delete my URL right there just because it's populating stuff based off of my YouTube channel. But if we type in right here, trail running shoes, then it'll give us a bunch of different keywords related to trail running shoes. So, and you can just click to add those. So trail shoes, waterproof running shoes, maybe not, you want to add that one. Men's trail running shoes, best trail running shoes, maybe ultra running shoes, trail shoes men, and then any other ones that you can think of to throw in here as well. And you can use the Google Keyword Planner to find more relevant keywords. That would be good ones to throw in here. I'll jump over in just a second and show you how to use the Google Keyword Planner. But first, if we look right here, there's broad match, phrase match, and exact match. And if we click right here on learn more, it'll give you a pretty good idea of what each of those mean. And look, I know it can be kind of boring to click in here and read and figure out what all this is, but like if you're wanting to learn to run ads, like it's a good thing in these platforms in the Google Ads Help Center to actually read what they have to say about broad match, phrase match, and exact match. So broad match, for example, ads may show on searches that include misspelling, synonyms, related searches, and other relevant situations. So if keywords is women's hats, someone searching for buy ladies hats as well as women's scarves might see your ad. So it's loose, it's broad, it's not gonna be super honed in necessarily to the keyword that you're targeting. Phrase match is ads may show on searches that match a phrase or close variations to that phrase, which may include additional words before or after. So right here we have trail shoes, but maybe it's rock plate trail shoes, and we could show up for rock plate trail shoes. And it's important to note, like it says right here, ads won't show, however, right here, ads won't show, however, if a word is added to the middle of the phrase, because that changes the meaning of the phrase. And then exact match, ads may show on searches that match the exact term or are close variations of the exact term. Close variants include searches for keywords with the same meaning as the exact keywords, regardless of spelling or grammar differences between the query and the keyword. So it's just like how strict, how tight do you want the searches to match your keywords, broad and loose, kind of medium phrase, or pretty strict exact. And the way you have to specify that when you're adding in your keywords right here is if it's broad match, you can just leave them unaltered. You don't have to do anything to them. If you want it to be a phrase match, then you throw some quotation marks around it. And if you want it to be an exact match, then you put it in brackets. And that's how you specify right here to Google which match type you want to use. Okay, I said we'd take a look at the Google Keyword Planner. So if you click up here on this wrench tools and settings icon, and then if you click on, where's it at? Keyword Planner right here, it'll take you to this page, which is the Keyword Planner. So you've got two options here. You've got the get search volumes and forecasts, and then you've got the discover new keywords option. Discover new keywords is exactly like it says. You're just going to be able to throw in a keyword, and then it's going to give you a bunch of other ones related to that that might be good ones for you to use. Show you that in a second. And then get search volume and forecast is if you already have a keyword in mind, you can go plug it in here and get the search volume and forecast. So let's go discover new keywords since we want to find some more keywords to put in our ad. And let's type in trail running shoes. Click get results. And then right here in the left column, it gives us a list of different keywords. And we can expand the rows here so we can see a lot more of them. And then it'll also tell you the average monthly searches right here. So ideally you would want to find high search volume with a low competition. These are all saying these are pretty competitive keywords right here. But you'll see that like trail running shoes gets up to 100,000 searches in a month. Best trail running shoes up to 100,000. These other ones are kind of 1 to 10,000. And then over here it's going to give you the bid range, like a low to a high. So if we want to target right here, best trail running shoes, kind of the low range it's saying per click is 41 cents, and then the top range is $3. So every time someone, if we choose that keyword and our ad shows up and someone clicks on the ad, we'll be charged somewhere from 40 cents to $3 for them having clicked on that ad. And if you don't really like any of these keywords over here, it gives you some other suggestions up here, like trail footwear. Maybe footwear is a keyword we want to use and look into. That could be less expensive. And it doesn't look like that's necessarily the case here, but anyways, that's how you go about using the keyword planner to find keywords and their associated search volumes and how much they'll potentially cost you per click. Okay, so from here you just hit save and continue, and then now we'll actually create the ad creative. And so you just want to start filling this out, the headlines, and this is actually very, very important, like what words you put here, the psychology behind it. I'm not going to get into that type of stuff in this video, but that's something that's absolutely worth studying, reading books on, listening to people about, is copywriting, the psychology behind it. And there's even books specific to how to copyright, like how to come up with good copywriting that works psychologically, specifically for Google search ads. So like there's info out there on that, but we could just do like toughest trail shoes, headline 2, maybe we're doing a discount, 50% off 2 pairs or something like that. Right here, you make sure that that's the correct URL right here, wherever you want to send people to when they click the ad. I'm just going to leave my YouTube channel there as an example. And then description, you could say, we've made Planet Earth's toughest and roughest trail shoe to date. Anyways, just come up with whatever you want to put there. And so for search ads, that's all it is. You just headlines, description, and then you're good to go. Click save and continue, and then that ad will start running. And it'll start to show up when people search for those keyword phrases that we threw in the previous step. All right, let's go back to campaign creation. Let's start a new campaign. And this time I want to show a display ad, show you how to set up display ads. So you can pick from standard, smart display, or Gmail campaign. I'm just gonna stick with standard right here and show you how to set that up. I'm gonna throw in my YouTube channel here just for example again, and then give it a campaign name. So this one would maybe want to go trail shoes test 1 display. And location, language, bidding, same thing. You're just going to want to pick how you want to handle your bidding. In this case, let's just say I'm not focused on conversions. I'm just focused on getting as many people to see it as possible. So in that case, I'd probably want to choose viewable impressions. And then budget right here, throw in whatever your budget is. I'm just going to say 150 again. Ad group, give your ad group a name if you want. And then again, we're here at the audiences section. Like I mentioned, this isn't my favorite section to use. I think if you use the other options, you can do a little bit better job with your targeting, because again, these are just kind of groupings that Google Ads has come up with. But if you can say more specifically to Google Ads who you want to send it to, then I think that's better. So I'm just gonna close that. And then demographics right here, if you know if you're just trying to reach females or males, or if you're trying to reach a certain age range, or people that are parents or not, if you want to reach people with certain household incomes, you can adjust this all as you want. It's pretty straightforward. I'm not going to really mess with that too much right now. But this section right here, I do want to take a second to explain content, where you want your ads to show. And if you click on content targeting, there's going to be 3 different options: keywords, topics, and placements. I'm going to go through all 3 of these real fast. So keywords, let's click in here. So it's doing this new thing where you can create custom intent audiences. My guess is they might switch to this permanently, but I'll show you both ways real fast. So if we click create now, you can give your audience a name. So let's just say trail shoe audience, and then you can throw in your keywords right here: trail running shoes, add that keyword, and then it'll populate some other ones here on the right based off of the trail running shoes keyword I put in there. So best trail running shoe for women, trail running shoes for women. If I want to target competitors, Brooks trail running shoes, New Balance trail running shoes, etc., then you can just click create, and now you've created an audience with specific keywords in there. So it can definitely be useful, and not a bad tool to use at all. But if you decide not to use that, then this is the traditional way that they've been doing this keyword section, which is similar to how we just set up the the keywords in the search campaign. So again, just type in trail running shoes and whatever keywords you want, best trail shoes. And you can also come over here. I'm going to remove my channel there so it's not. If we just type in trail shoes, it'll give you some ideas and you can add those in like that. Okay, so that's how to set up keywords. I'm going to minimize that real fast. And I'm going to click on content targeting again and click on topics. Now, one thing I will say, I mentioned earlier in the video that when I first set up Google Ads campaigns, I just had a tough time actually getting my ads to even run. And it was because I came in here and I was putting keywords, topics, and placements, and audiences, like in that section up here, right here, this audiences section that I talked about. And it was just too much in it. I believe it was just too much targeting, too much going on. So Google Ads just wasn't even delivering it. So I would recommend just starting off really simple. Do just keywords or just topics or just placements and focus on that. And then once you've got the hang of that, then you can start to try and mess with more stuff. But yeah, that's the problem I had at the beginning, was I was trying to use all of these different options thinking, oh, this is great. Like, I'm really going to hone in on super targeted people, but I was just putting in way too much targeting. Let's look at topics now. And here in topics, it's already going to have some categories for you, and you can use the drop downs inside of those, each of those categories to find more subcategories. You can also type in whatever it is you're like the product is that you're selling. So say we're doing trail shoes, and then it'll try and bring up the most closely related categories: casual shoes, cycling, apparel, running and walking, stuff like that. Personally, if I'm doing this for trail shoes, I wouldn't put in topics. I would focus on keywords and or placements. And I think both are just super powerful, keywords and placements. Again, maybe you don't want to use them both together. That might complicate things a little bit, but let's take a look at placements here. And placements is super cool because, for example, I could go to YouTube and I could find the top and even the smaller niche channels about trail running or about running shoes, and I can copy and paste those channels or even videos from those specific channels and come plug them in here, and then my ad will show on those channels and those channels videos. So you can copy and paste the URLs of the channel or the video if you want. You can also just click into here and search them. So if I typed in trail running, it'll bring up some different channels related to trail running that I could click into. But I would more recommend just go onto YouTube and do the research that way instead of just letting YouTube try and pull up channels that it thinks you should target. And then videos, same thing. You can copy and paste the URL or you can search videos. So let's just throw one in here, for example. And now we've got placements targeting set up where it will target this video. Now you probably want to throw in more than just one video, but just showing you that as an example. Targeting expansion right here, you may or may not want to use this. It says it increases your reach based on positive targeting and settings you selected above. Again, lots of times this stuff is just so you spend more money. It may or may not work. You know, for now I'm just going to leave that off. Ad group bid, enter your viewable CPM for this ad group. So how much you know, I want to spend for every 1,000 views. Since I selected earlier that I wanted the bidding to be done by impressions, not conversions. And so then I need to set that here. And then right here is where you actually set up the ad. And since it's a display ad, it's not just going to be text like it was in the search ad. There's going to actually be some art here that you're going to want to upload and use. And this right here is fairly new, the new responsive display ad. What that means is you can upload various different images, videos, logos, titles, etc. And then Google, through artificial intelligence, will just pick what's the best combination and then where's the best place to put those different combinations, where's the best way to show them, because there's different places on a page where it can show it. So you can use that if you want Google to kind of play with it and figure out stuff on its own. If you don't, just click dismiss, and then you'll be able to insert your images and logos right here. A video if you're going to use a video, and then right here you'll type in your headlines and a description. Just fill that out. You can get the little ad preview over here. It'll show you everything that's going on, what your ad looks like. Once that's done, just click create campaign and you're done setting up display ads. All right, let's back out of this one more time and set up a video ad, a video campaign. So new campaign, let's just use website traffic again. Click on video. Drive conversions is gonna be the goal. Click continue. So campaign name again, let's go trail shoes test 1 video. And then you can select your bid strategy, maximize conversions, or target CPA, which is cost per action. Let's stick with maximize conversion since we're trying to sell trail shoes. Budget and dates, again, daily or campaign total, up to you how you want to set that. Let's do campaign total 150, and let's say we wanted it to spend that in a week, so April 16th to April 23rd. And a video campaign is going to be where our ads show up on YouTube videos, before the video, in the middle of the video, after the video. That, you know, oftentimes they make you watch it for 5 seconds and then you can skip. That's what this is going to be. Okay, right here, networks. It's automatically going to have YouTube videos selected for you. Video partners on the display network. That's just it, expanding it more to other places. I'm going to click that off. We just want to show on YouTube videos. Languages, set to all languages, so let's switch that to English. Make sure it's in the language that we want it. Location, set to United States. Inventory type right here, it's just going to have it automatically set to the recommended standard inventory. If you don't care if your ad shows it all on videos with more sensitive content, more R-rated type of content, then you can click expanded inventory. Or if you want to do limited inventory to exclude more videos that have profanity and stuff like that, then you can do that. Excluded types and labels right here. So I personally like to click off embedded videos and live streaming videos, although you can leave those on, just and maybe worth a test there, thinking about what you want to do or not. But I just would rather have it in the actual videos on YouTube. Let's close that and move on here. Ad group name, you can give your ad group a name right there. Demographics is where you can choose age, gender. We've already talked about that. Audiences, we've talked about this section already. Not my favorite. I think if you do a little bit of research and fill out either keywords, topics, or placements, specifically keywords and placements well, then I think that ends up being better targeting. And we already talked about how to do these, so I'm just gonna go through those, but those are the same options we've gone through before. And then right here is where we'll input the video that we want to run as our ad. So whatever the video is that you want to be your ad, that you're going to use for your ad, upload that to YouTube, and then you just get the URL and then copy paste that right here. So I'm just picking a completely random one here of mine just to give you guys an idea of what it looks like. You want to throw in the final URL right here if it was like trailrunningshoes.com. Then call to action if we threw in like a buy now right there. And then for the headline right here, if we threw in trail shoes, then we get a pretty good idea of what the ad looks like. We've got the video showing right there. We've got our buy now button, trail shoes, and the trail running shoes URL. Looks pretty good. And then from there, just click on create campaign. And now that video is running as an ad on people's YouTube videos. Covered quite a bit there. Hope that was helpful. Like I said earlier on, get in here, have some fun, play around, be willing to spend a little bit of money. Use that $150 free ad spend you can double your money easy right there and get an extra $150 to freely spend. So definitely take advantage of that.